State government workers suffer over backlog of unpaid salaries. Budget survey, Abia, Taraba, Ondo, Owe workers.
$418 million Paris Club refund. Governors can't complain over deductions. Malami will rely on Buhari's directive to halt payment of refund to consultants. NGF.
No going back on 5% excise duty on data calls, Finance Minister. Implementation in line with Finance Act, she says.
Our church attack. 2 more suspects arrested. Defense headquarters.
First subsidy scam. Reps to probe over 200 account domicile with CBN.
Troops killed 74 terrorists. Released 45 kidnapped victims.
No forest research sold by Abiodun Ogun government.
Buhari attack. Gas brigade buries Captain Atta, 4 other soldiers.
160 million Nigerians at risk of yellow fever, says WHO.
Train attack. Leader falls not an option to rescue captives. Buhari meet relatives of abducted passengers.
Muslim ticket. Catholics knock Lalong over comments on Pope. Demand apology.
No player can beat Benzema to Ballon d'Or. Ancelotti.
I can't afford to waste time at cities.
CAF Super League boost for African players. These and many more will come your way on to this edition of Headlines after the break.
Leaders Academy, always a leader.
Thinking of where to get qualitative education for your child? Think of Global Leaders Academy. Our creche, nursery, primary and secondary schools are established in tandem with global standards with qualified and experienced teachers. At Global Leaders Academy, we have state-of-the-art facilities such as comfortable hostel accommodation with maximum security, well-equipped science laboratory, school buses, adequately furnished library, and many more. Oh yes, worship centers are available to accommodate each student's preferred religion. We also take our students for excursion on a regular basis. These and many more reasons are why Global Leaders Academy has been a choice school for parents who desire qualitative education for their children. Visit us today at Global Leaders Academy, located at Plot 1AMB, Oroki Estate, Lameko Junction, Oshobo, or call 0815-928-0037. At Global Leaders Academy, we are not led, we lead, and always a leader.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Headlines today, 12th August 2022. My name is Olushola Egbodofo, and with me in the houses,
Adeyemi Abodeni.
The World Health Organization WHO has declared that 160 million Nigerians are at risk of yellow fever, making up around 24% of all the people in Africa. WHO also disclosed that Nigeria vaccinated over 45 million people during the COVID-19 pandemic out of the Nigerian population, which is around 200 million people. The medical officer at WHO Nigeria, Dr. Anne Hedus Chinbaptize, who stated this in a statement, noted that yellow fever is a dangerous virus transmitted by infected mosquitoes, while a small percentage of patients will go through a more toxic phase of the disease. Director General of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NSCDC, Dr. Ifedayo Adetifa, noted that the center has strengthened surveillance considerably by establishing reference laboratories in the country, which are being supported and access to meet all the performance parameters in terms of sample collection and referral to the reference laboratories in Abuja.
And we are going to look at the alarming rate of yellow fever in Nigeria as stated by the World Health Organization. 160 million Nigerians at risk of yellow fever, and when the time comes, the number to call still remains a studio number, which is 0818-777-5777. The risk at which Nigerians are at catching yellow fever infection in the country. Meanwhile, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami on Thursday declared that governors have no basis to complain about reductions from the Paris Club refund paid to the consultant they hired. Appearing on the ministerial media briefing organized by the Presidential Communications team at the Presidential Villa Abuja, Malami reminded the state chief executive that they created the liability owes payment. They have also under indemnified. He said on the issue of Paris Club that is raised, you mentioned that there exists a presidential directive that payment should not be made, and in breach of that position, directive payment were perhaps maybe arising from the conspiracy between the AGF and Minister of Justice. Payment have been made.
The federal government has said it has disbursed 56 billion naira to 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory out of the release of 89 billion naira for basic healthcare provisions fund since it was launched in January 2019. The Minister of Health, Dr. Sage Hanire, made a disclosure at the Ministerial Oversight Committee meeting for the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund in Abuja. Hanire said that the disbursement was so far made to states. The federal government is providing operational funds to 7,250 primary healthcare facilities in 35 states, and the FCT adding that the initiative has spurred many primary healthcare facilities to be able to provide care for people in the communities.
President Muhammadu Buhari met on Thursday with representatives of victims of Kaduna train abduction, as he also said his reason for discarding the use of little military force in extracting the remaining abductees is to avoid collateral damage. He, however, assured that the federal government is doing everything within its power to ensure the safe return of the remaining captives. Speaking at the Presidential Villa Abuja, he also condoled with the families of those who lost their loved ones, according to a statement issued by Femi Adesina, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity. The President said since the terrible and cowardly attack by the criminal elements on March 28, 2022, the nation had joined them to endure a period of difficulty and emotional pains. He said in the immediate aftermath of the incident, several actions have been taken by the government to bring succor to the affected families and to prevent a reoccurrence in the country.
The remains of late Captain Samuel Atta and 4 other soldiers who died during clearance operation in Wari in the Federal Capital Territory were laid to rest in Abuja on Thursday. The Assistant Director of Army Public Relations Guards Brigades, Captain Godfrey Akpagba, said in a statement that the burial took place at the Guards Brigade Cemetery in Abuja. Akpagba said the late officer and soldiers were serving with 7 Guards Battalion, Longi Barracks, Maitama, and 176 Guards Battalion, Gwagwalada in the FCT. Said the funeral oration was swept by the commanding officer of 7 Guards Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Salim Azan, and commanding officer 176 Guards Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Joshua Adisa. According to him, they described the late captain and soldiers as thoroughbred infantrymen who were genuinely committed to their duties in the defense of Nigeria.
The federal government has concluded plans to implement the new tariff hike of 5% on calls and data. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, who disclosed this on Thursday, said the government will begin the implementation of a 5% excise duty tax on all voice calls, SMS and data services, in addition to the existing 7.5% value-added tax paid for goods and services across all sectors of the economy. She made the disclosure during a stakeholders meeting organized by the Nigerian Communications Commission, the telecoms industry regulator. At the meeting, Zainab Ahmed, Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, who was represented by the Assistant Director, Tax Policy, Federal Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Musa Umar, noted that the 5% excise duty has been in Finance Act 2020 but has never been implemented.
A total of 648 cases have been instituted against the President Muhammadu Buhari, the federal government and its agencies before State, Federal and Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS Court, since the inception of its administration. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, who revealed this, also said that no judgment had been entered against the president, as all present judgments were inherited from previous administration. Malami spoke on the impact of litigation efforts on the economy while appearing on the ministerial media briefing organized by the Presidential Communications Team at the Presidential Villa Abuja on Thursday. Revealed that about 54.8 billion naira was saved from litigation in 2022.
In the face of rising cost of food items in Nigeria, civil servants in Abia, Ondo, Taraba and other states are going through a lot of difficulties over unpaid remunerations. This is according to an empirical survey carried out across the 36 states in the Federation by Budget, a foremost civic tech organization leading the advocacy for transparency and accountability in Nigeria's public finance. The organization, while expressing disapproval, tasked them to prioritize employees' rights by paying all accrued salaries. Specifically, it observed that Abia State currently owes its state tertiary institution workers 6 months' salary, while Ebonyi has not paid its pensioners in the last 6 months. Secretariat workers in Taraba complained of irregular salary payments for up to 6 months, while lecturers at state tertiary institutions and midwives in the state-owned hospitals in Ondo State have not been paid a dime in the last 4 months. Budget, in a statement signed by Iyanu Fatoba, Head Media Communications and Creative, further stated that 12 states hold their workers at least 1 month's salary as of July 28, 2022. The civil group conducted this empirical survey to spotlight and identify state governments that have consistently failed to meet the essential requirements of governance and employee compensation, thereby subjecting the workers to unpaid labor and harsh living conditions.
Art and Science and D'Amico Montessori International School, Cali. Oh yes, at D'Amico College of Health and Science and D'Amico Montessori International School, located at number 1 Old Ibadan Road, Ajebandele, Ile-Ife. We have a standard classrooms with unmatched staff and pupil ratio. We develop each student's intelligence through caring and all-round focused training while making the learning style very inviting and innovative for holistic development. We run a global school with all-inclusive curriculum that prepare the students for global relevance. At D'Amico Schools, we have highly passionate and motivated 21st century educators, and there is also an opportunity of learning foreign languages, home away from home boarding system. There is also Hope Model College and D'Amico Montessori Nursery and Primary Schools at Origo, Ife North. Enroll your child for both primary and secondary education. The admission form can be obtained at D'Amico Montessori International School, number 1 Old Ibadan Road, Ajebandele, Ile-Ife, or D'Amico Educational Institute, Kilometer 2, Eda Road, Ile-Ife. You can visit our website www.d'amicoschools.ng.com or call 0803 721 8120. D'Amico Schools. Admission is in progress.
This is to inform the general public, especially those who intend to apply for the Higher National Diploma Program (HND) of the Osun State Polytechnic Ire for the 2022-2023 academic session, that the form is now available for sale at the sum of 15,000 naira only. Applicants are to log into oxpoly.edu.ng. Courses are available in the faculties of Engineering, Information and Communication Technology, Science, Financial Studies, and Management Studies. Interested applicants applicants are expected to possess credit passes in English language, mathematics, and any other 3 subjects in the areas of studies. There would be a qualifying exam for the applicants. By end of August, applicants are to use the ATM card of any bank. For more information, log on to www.ospoly.edu.ng or call 08034007555, 09055063355, and 07059606371. And answer BM Salawu, Esquire, Registrar.
The federal government has said that 1,130 stolen Benin posings and other artifacts will be repatriated to Nigeria to make a tour of schools and the country as a whole. The Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, said this in Abuja when he inspected the Millennium Tour and the Cultural Center under construction with his counterpart, Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Bello. According to Newsman report, the federal government is seeking $400 million private investment to complete the MCCC National Monument and multifunctional edifice with facilities for cultural exposition, including 4 museums.
The Defense Headquarters has announced the arrest of 2 additional suspects in connection with the June 5 attack on St. Francis Catholic Church in Ondo State. According to report, the Director of Defense Information, Major General Jimmy Akpo, in a statement on Thursday said the suspects were apprehended at Omo Alafara in Ose, Ondo State. Akpo said the arrests were made barely hours after the disclosure of the arrest of 4 of the terrorists behind the attack by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo.
About 6 persons were reportedly killed on Wednesday by suspected herders at Nse Ngojovu and Ise Valem Yahweh in Embagon community in Tompo Castle Ward area of local government area of Benue State. The killing is coming barely a week after the state government inaugurated its security outfit, the volunteer community guards. The suspected herders were said to have stormed the communities at about 9 p.m. where they attacked residents.
Well, the line is now open for your comment on your view segment today, and the subject of discourse today is the alarming rate given by the World Health Organization on the yellow fever outbreak in Nigeria. 160 million Nigerians are at risk of yellow fever, according to the World Health Organization, and the number to dial remains 081-8777-5777.
Hello, good morning. Hello?
Good morning, Kenny.
Good morning, sir.
Shola, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, you are with
sir.
us.
Okay. Dr. Akipe will contribute from the diocese. This risk factor given by WHO should be taken with all seriousness. I want to appeal and plead with the ministry, Federal Ministry of Health, to give this a very wide publicity so that our people can really do a lot of work, by disinfecting their houses, fleeting their rooms and all this, because yellow fever is a very, very deadly disease. And any time one is noticed to have it, you should report at the hospital, because one of the signs is the yellowish coloration of the eyeballs, so that any time you see that kind of eyeball, please report in the office. And government should go further by giving doses of injection that should be, a sort of defense for this deadly fever. It's more deadly than malaria. Good
The House of Representatives on Thursday unveiled plans to investigate over 200 accounts being operated by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited with a view to ascertaining the public funds spent on payment of fuel subsidy from 2013 to date. To this end, the lawmakers resolved to invite the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, and the executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mohammed Nami. The resolution was passed sequel to the adoption of a motion sponsored by Honorable Mark Billa, who frowned at alleged incoherent presentation of Emefiele's special assistant, Mr. Gabriel Ogunjemi Luri, on issues bordering on the utilization of 6.7 trillion naira fuel subsidy within 7 months.
A gold mine identified as Alhaji Adepoju and his driver, who were abducted penultimate Friday on the Ilesha-Osogbo Road in Osun State, have regained their freedom. It was gathered that the victims were released on Wednesday after allegedly paying 20 million naira ransom to their abductors. The kidnappers had initially demanded 100 million unit until it was negotiated to 20 million naira. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, 27.
Morning, sir.
From Uso. Yellow fever is a very deadly disease and it's not good at all. But now that we have been alerted by the World Health Organization, we have to do everything possible to make sure that it do not have effect on us as Nigerians. The Ministry of Health and its officials should try to educate people, and our people also should cooperate that living a very healthy life. I pray this will not have much effect on us. Good morning.
A 32-year-old commercial driver, Idowu Ali, has been remanded in Okekura Correctional Facilities in Ilorin, Kwara State for allegedly hacking a 2-year-old boy with a machete following a domestic issue. Ali was brought before an Ilorin magistrate court for offences bordering on criminal trespass, causing of grievous hurt and attempted culpable homicide, contrary to Section 348, 248, and 229 of the Penal Code law.
In the meantime, a magistrate's court sitting in Osogbo, Osun State has sentenced the middle-aged herbalist Adeboye Moshood to 4.5 years imprisonment for in possession of human parts. The police prosecutor, Fatoba Timitope, told the court that Moshood and his accomplices committed the contrary acts to sections 517, 242, and 430 subsection 34 of the Osun State law. He prayed the court to punish him accordingly to serve as deterrence to others who might be in similar business.
President Muhammadu Buhari has assured that the deployment of digital technology in the 2023 National Population and Housing Census will ensure effectiveness and more accuracy in the figures, while noting that Nigeria could rank third largest in the world by 2050 after China and India. He spoke at the National Stakeholders Summit on the 2023 Population and Housing Census held at the Presidential Villa in Abuja.
And now to sports. The second edition of the Wife of the Edo State Governor, the Obaseki Women's Football Tournament, will take place from September 7 to 17 in Benin City. Vice Chairman Board of Trustees BOT for the tournament, Comrade Philip Shrabu, who is the Deputy Governor of the state, revealed this in Benin at a press conference.
The first batch of Team Nigeria athletes to the just concluded Commonwealth Games in Birmingham received heroes' welcome on their arrival in Abuja on Tuesday. While receiving the athletes and their officials at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, Minister of Youth and Sport Development Sunday Dare lauded the excellent performance of Team Nigeria at Birmingham 2022, which amassed 12 gold, 9 silver, and 14 bronze medals to finish in 7th position.
And lastly, Captain of Sunshine Stars on the Abbey has said that the newly introduced African Super League will reduce the rate at which African footballers join upscale clubs abroad. Patrice Motsepe launched the new competition with prize money for $100 million during the 44th CAF Ordinary General Assembly on Wednesday in Arusha, Tanzania.
On this note, we say bye on this morning edition of Headlines from 104.5 FM. Ile-Awuye Oke-Ibale Osogbo. It has been the duo of Adeyemi Aboderin and
Olushola Egbodofo.
The producer of the program is
Motunrayo Ayegbayo.
While the production advisor is
Abimbola Babatunde.
Our colleagues will be around tomorrow morning for another edition of the program. From us there, we are saying good morning.
For the best in news, sports, music, documentaries, news analysis, and lots more, tune to OSBC Radio 104.5 FM.
bàbá wa kábíyèsí àtọ́jà ìlú Òṣogbo ń fi àsìkò yìí kí gbogbo tónílétàlejò pátá tó ń bọ̀ wá sí ibi àṣekágbé ayẹyẹ ọdún Ọ̀ṣun Òṣogbo ní Friday ọjọ́ 12 oṣù kẹjọ tí a wà yìí tí a ó gbé igbá rodò. bàbá ń súre pé láyọ̀ lẹ́ ó dé ìlú Òṣogbo láyọ̀ ni a ó padà sí ibùgbé yín o. ẹ wá gbọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin mọ̀dàrú ọmọ gànfẹ́ jàǹdùkú